We've seen in recent seasons that a number one alpha wide receiver is paramount for teams to have. Now, this receiver class might not be as strong as 2024, but we still have a lot of great prospects, starting with number one, Travis Hunter. We've talked about him a lot. What else we like? Anything we want to add about Travis Hunter here?
Yeah, for a guy who didn't play full-time receiver, just going to the meetings and going to practice and just working on receiver drills because he's doing a little bit of everything. It's pretty damn impressive, man. This kid is an impressive player. He can do it all. He can run by you. He can catch a short one and run around you. He's got eyeballs on the back of his head. I'm telling you, he catches a ball, he feels the guy right here, he'll spin out of it. His ball skills and ball awareness and his ability to find open lanes in the running game is pretty damn good. And I think he's a willing blocker. I've seen him block for his buddies on screen passes and all that stuff. It's not like he's a prima donna, won't do all that stuff. But this guy is a special athlete, and somebody's going to get him and have a really tough decision. I don't think it's a tough decision. Playing wide receiver, you're playing receiver, damn it. Every once in a while, I'll throw you out of corner. You're playing wide out.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. We talk about 50-50 balls with wide receivers. You throw it up to a guy who's going to make a play. Look at A.J. Brown in Philadelphia. You look at DeAndre Hopkins when we were in Arizona. Is it a 50-50 ball with Travis Hunter, or is it a 80-20 ball?
You've seen him. There has been plenty of 50-50 balls with Travis Hunter, but he just needs to be spend time in that room. He needs to get with some of the older receivers and polish up his routes, polish up his releases. He's just a pure football player right now. You talk about impact player, like when the ball's in his hands on either side of the ball, balls in the air at corner or balls in the air.
Some of the interceptions are just, they're even more impressive.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So like whether he plays corner or whether he plays receiver, polishing up on those skills and abilities and spending time in those meeting rooms and getting around veteran players is just gonna make him good on either side of the ball.
Don't you think it's going to be easy for him to be polished up at corner? He's had the best corner teaching him how to play corner for the last 4 years.
That's a great point.
Right?
Yeah.
His footwork, his fundamentals, his hand usage, his patience at the line of scrimmage, his ability to play two-man, single high, know where his help is. I mean, this guy he could probably walk into a game and learn 3 or 4 coverage and be damn good at corner. Now, if I teach us some route concepts, some 2 minutes, some hand signals,
You got it all.
we got ourselves there. You're playing 100 plays. Sorry. You're going to play till you get tired.
So we have the unicorn in Travis Hunter. We've talked about wide receiver number 2. Matthew Golden, is he our receiver number 2? I mean, we got Tet McMillan, we got Luther Bird, and we got Emeka Egbuka.
I think Matthew Golden's number 2 by far.
By far.
I really do. After the combine performance, because I wasn't sure how fast he was on tape. And that can be a negative because it doesn't look like maybe because he's got Bond running next to him. I don't know. But knowing that he runs a 4.29 40 now with the routes that he runs and the ability for him to stick his foot in the ground and come back to the ball, he's got a great natural ability to play receiver as far as making himself friendly to the quarterback and coming back to the football and adjusting to the ball. And he's pretty good after the catch, not like Travis Hunter, but this guy's a good player, man. He reminds me, I saw a couple routes, similar build as Reggie Wayne back in the day. Reggie Wayne's like my favorite route running receiver of all time, by the way. If I ever was going to make a receiver route running cut up, Reggie Wayne would be top of my list. There's a lot of other good ones, but loved him. And he had a couple routes where he sticks foot in the ground at the back of the end zone, coming back to the ball. I mean, just sudden, decisive, snatching it. I like the guy. I think he's a good player. I think personally he's the second best receiver off the board.
I love watching Texas tape because I would always go watch Matthew Golden from the very beginning of the year. He transferred from Houston, which I think is a great move for him, and didn't know like what his role was really going to be at UT. He made a day one impact. And when the ball was away from him or they were running a concept and he was always open. He ran every route like he was going to get the football. And I love watching that from receivers, right? I just think
that gets us going. That gets the offensive lineman going.
And when you talk to guys around the program, like he was the guy. He was the leader of that room, soft-spoken, not like a guy who's just waving his hands on the backside of a route knowing he should get the ball, but he didn't get it. He just every time the ball was in the air and it came to him, he made a play on it, and he was winning his routes when if you could pause the tape and he's throwing a go ball to the left, he's winning on the right. Like it's over and over every week. And I think he's the best route runner. I think they're crisp. I think in and out of his breaks, he'll run a bench route and he'll run it 2 or 3 different ways at the top of his route. If the guy plays inside, he'll still lean him in, save grass. If he wins on the inside, he'll sell the post to get back. He just creates a lot of space. Give me a comp for him. 4.29. Like how many X receivers in the NFL run a 4.29? Legit. 6, 7 guys maybe?
I don't know.
No, I mean it's not that many. So I just think I think he's a crisp route runner. I think you put him on the inside. I think you put him outside. I think he's just going to find ways to get
big
over.
guy,
6 foot. I mean, I can't think of.
Would like Devontae Smith in Philadelphia be a guy that you would like?
He's bigger than Devontae Smith.
Yeah, it's a slim reaper. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I was all tuned in. I saw Isaiah Bond saying he's going to run a 4.19, and then his teammate comes out and runs a 4.29, and he runs a 4.4. That was the one thing I'm like, oh, well, who the hell is this Matthew Golden character?
If you're talking about X receivers, I'm not saying he's only going to play X. I think he. I think
Pierre back in the day, man.
Yeah.
He's not as physical as Pierre, but
no.
Pierre was like a 4.3, 4.4.
Yeah, and
physical, and really stuck. Really good routes and good hands.
Yes.
Physical after the catch. He's not quite as physical and as violent as Pierre, but that type of guy. He was 4.3, 40.
I like his makeup. I like who he is. I like his approach to the game. I think he's a pro. Like he's gonna step in as a rookie and play like he's been there for 2 or 3 years. Right? That's his mindset.
Like when he ran the 4.29, he put his hood on and just got the hell out of there. That was sweet.
He didn't mess around. Just ran right out of there.
Mic drop moment, wasn't it? That was the ultimate. 4.29 hood on.
Deion Sanders back in the day.
AQ, let me ask you this question. With NIL and kids transferring and already being around to the business, learning how to be a pro, how much is that going to help or hurt guys coming into the NFL? They already have millions of dollars already. They already have, a little bit. They have agents. They have all those things.
It's very interesting because I felt like when I got out of the league in 2020, I felt like the person was changing coming into the locker room. I felt like it was a different person. It was the social media era, right? It was you guys are coming in, their earbuds are in, they're on their phones, nobody's hanging out in the locker room. Now, fortunately for me, my last year playing them in Tampa, and we got a 45-year-old quarterback. We got a 35-year-old running back. Yeah, you got guys that are veteran guys. Gronk was 30 plus. Like we were a pretty veteran-heavy team. But my last year in Arizona, it was all young guys. I think it is different from that era now because I think now it's become a business. I think now they're starting to understand. They're getting some financial advice. They're understanding what it is. I think it can be a detriment because there's some guys that should stay in school and make more money in college than they would if they went to the NFL, right? But, I think that's the interesting thing. The one negative to this whole situation, I don't think it has anything to do with the NIL. I think the transfer portal is going to hurt the athlete moving forward because I think it teaches kids the ability to just, whenever you don't get your way, whenever you don't earn a starting job, whenever things, you can just bail and go to the next thing, right? Like I think back in the day, Michael Jordan getting cut from his high school team, it taught him to go work hard, shoot more shots, and now he goes and becomes the greatest to ever do it, right? Obviously, that's
you can always just play DB.
Example.
It's an easy position. Be a 3 technique like Mason Graham.
But think about how many times, I didn't start as a true freshman. I redshirted. I played a little bit as a freshman. If I'm playing in today's day and age, I'm probably up and out and I'm on to the next, right?
It's a video game mentality, man. You play online, you get your ass beat, hit the reset button and turn it off.
Turn it off.
Lost communication.
That's right. And that's the one negative to the transfer portal. I don't think the NIL is going to be as much of a detriment. I think it's the transfer.
The reason I asked about it is because receivers are your what's the right adjective to prima donnas. So the money I think is going to impact this position the most, and that's why I asked that question. And you mentioned Tampa Bay. The third guy on our list here, Tet McMillan, reminds me of a guy you played with in Tampa Bay, Mike Evans. What's it like having a receiver like that? That's that big body, can go up, can make the play, box somebody out. Might not be the fastest guy in the world, but
that's a strong comp.
If this guy's going to go to Mike Evans, this guy's going to Mike Evans, he's got a long way to go, I think.
Drake London, maybe? I don't know.
That's probably more
comparable.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, but if we're going to speak about Mike Evans, Mike Evans might be the most underrated receiver of all time. Plays in Tampa's market, doesn't get as big a notoriety, but he's only gone out and had 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
That's unbelievable.
Runs by every receiver, every DB still to this day.
That was the bet, by the way, the higher on Mike Evans last game, right? Didn't he have to hit it to go higher?
And he did.
He got it.
And he continuously does. And now he's got Baker. Just kind of anytime Baker gets in trouble, it's
throws it up,
chuck it, throw it deep. I mean, Mike Evans is special. If this guy can be half of Mike Evans, you hit on a hell of a receiver.
Is he 3? Is Tet McMillan 3 in your receiver power rankings?
He's 3A, 3B. I like Luther better, the next guy we're going to do. But this guy's got the height, the mismatch, the 6'5", 212, big cut, very productive guy. Not a great offense, but it still made a lot of plays. I like big receivers. Everybody knows that. But I like big physical receivers. This guy doesn't play physical to me. He's not like a run after the catch guy, just a big finesse, back shoulder, jump ball type guy across the middle. catch it, get down type guy. Very skilled. He's sick, so somebody's going to take him. He's a glider, a long strider type guy. Good player. I have my doubts, but he's a very, very good player.
When it comes to offensive line, we always talk about bench press, arm length, wingspan. Is there certain numbers that you want to see from your wide receivers? Like, hey, that's my ex receiver. That's my go-to guy.
Well, I mean, with size like that, that's pretty much where you're going to play.
Yeah.
You're going to play X, right? And you can high point throws. You put the ball in areas. And Jay always just say, hey, just throw it where they're not. Throw it where the DB's not. And when you're playing with a guy like that, he's 6'5" in a frame and can go catch the ball. Like, that's an easy target. You can't rely on that all the time.
Good coaching point.
But
thanks, man.
Just throw it where they're not.
At the same time, true, that does help. I think it'll translate. I think he's very talented. Does an X receiver have to be 6'5"? No. Is it nice to have? Yeah, of course. Michael Pittman, Drake London. Like I think he's along those kind of lines, and those guys are very productive.
3B, Luther Burden, Missouri. Do you ever get nervous that a guy played at Missouri or in Arizona? I mean, Missouri's obviously SEC, so you're probably not as nervous about him. But does that ever make you nervous? The schools guys went to. We were talking about that earlier with. You get a guy, an offensive lineman that played in the Big Ten, that played in the SEC. He's seen grown men. Is that the same feel?
Yeah, it is a little bit. I like Luther because his ability to do a little bit of everything. This day and age in pro football, the jet sweeps and receivers lining up in the backfield and lining up in slot, working the backers and the choice routes and the option routes. This is what he features at. You know, the Cooper Kupp routes, the Puka Nacua routes, the Amendola, all those little slot guys that are pretty good. He's better. He's good at that. Not better. He's a good player. And there's a lot of teams are in 11 personnel a lot because of the lack of tight ends, which we mentioned. So you're in 11 personnel a lot. He's going to be the third receiver inside and get a lot of production. I think if you're doing a fantasy football draft, if you're drafting the rookie receivers, I take
Dynasty,
Luther.
the Dynasty
I take
League.
Luther first because he's going to have the ability to get the ball in his hands more a lot of different ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Where McMillan's going to be more of a fade guy, and he'll catch like 4 balls for 38 yards and maybe a touchdown at 8-yard.
Touchdown reliant. You don't love that with fantasy.
Whatever, yeah.
PPR, Luther Burden.
Or Luther probably have 8 catches for 68 yards and a tutty. You know what I'm saying?
2 jet sweeps for
another 18, 20 yards. Yeah. So I think they're going to find unique ways to get the ball in his hands. And I think he's going to be more polished when he gets to the NFL. At Missouri, their pass game was really kind of blah. You know what I mean?
And they had Brady Cook was hurt most of the year. So he didn't get the chance to really get the ball when he was open, running routes. Boom, where's the ball? Not there, right? Like I
think he's going to produce way more in the NFL than he did in college.
Yeah,
and you love that as an offensive lineman. Get a ball in someone's hands, get it out quick, make somebody miss, get north-south.
Hell yeah. Especially with these young quarterbacks, you know what I mean?
God, you got me all excited now.
These offensive
Luther Burden, I might move him up.
I can't pick up the TE stunt, man.
Get that out of there. Mason Graham's running that team.
Patting the ball.
Give this quick option, quick count, quick slam, bang, bang.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to mention a guy's name, Emeka Egbuka, Ohio State. It seems like everyone that goes to Ohio State or LSU becomes the best receiver. Is he 4th on the list? He's our next guy?
I think Emeka Egbuka is a really good receiver. I do. I think from a production standpoint, look, he played behind. He was there with all the guys. He was there with Jackson Smith and Jigba. He was there with Marvin Harrison. He was really Olave.
Wilson.
He's there with Garrett as well.
He was there, and he was also helpful for the young guy Jeremiah Smith or whoever but he's played a role that whole time. I just think he's very polished. Every receiver that's come out of Ohio State has been polished.
He did not play with Terry McLaurin.
Terry's older.
I know. I just mentioned Ohio State receivers.
But you just got excited.
I can't believe
his commanders stuff.
Joey Galloway.
I don't know.
Paris Campbell. Let's go.
I don't know if he's as elite as those guys. Like I don't. But is he productive? Can he be really good on a bunch of different teams? Yes. Like I think he's smart. He can line up anywhere. You can do a lot of different things with him. Catch and runs. He's made a ton of plays after the catch. I think he's a solid receiver. Can't go wrong. Like any team in the league would probably love to have him because he could fit anywhere.
Did he get hurt a little bit? Because every time you turned on Ohio State, they were talking about Jeremiah Smith this year. They were like, this sensational freshman, and you kind of forget about him.
This guy would show up a lot. He held his own with Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith is a flat-out baller.
He'll be a top 5.
I was going to say, if Jeremiah Smith is in this class right now, he's
maybe number 1 pick. Maybe he's better probably than Travis Hunter, wide receiver. As much as
he would be. But Emeka Egbuka brings a lot to the table. I mean, from a production standpoint, from a character standpoint.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that be where he's supposed to be all the time. He's going to run. He's run good routes. He's strong. He's good after the catch. He's a very polished guy for a college player. Like Matthew Golden's very polished for a college player. These guys are going to step right in the NFL, not have trouble picking up systems and running the route tree and hand signals and, everything that needs to be done at receiver position, they can do it.
Well, when you look at some of these offensive systems that we're in right now, some of them aren't reflective of what the NFL is going to look like. You're in some gimmicky offenses. Is that why the Ohio State or the LSU or some of these other receivers have instant success? Because they've either A, played a lot of football, or B, they're just coming from better pedigreed programs?
Programs, coaches, coaching has a lot to do with it.
For me, I had an NFL coach in Doug Marrone. I was an offensive line coach and my head coach in college. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting that style of coaching, and it isn't just I got to the NFL and I had coaches that didn't know as much as my college coach did. So it set me up for success.
Ohio State had Ryan Day and Chip Kelly. LSU and they had Nussmeier, and he's a good offensive coordinator. So coaching matters, and scheme matters for these guys statistically and for them to show their skill set. Like we're talking about Luther. Luther doesn't have great offensive coaching and great quarterback play, so he's going to be affected a little bit by it. But you can see the skill set that he has that will translate to the NFL level, and we'll see. Time will tell.
All right, well, next one up, we got Tre Harris, Ole Miss. What's he bringing to the table? We like him?
Tre's a bigger guy, 6'3". He didn't run great. He's 4.55, but that's not his game. His game is more of a possession type receiver, more of a physical type guy, across the middle, do the dirty work for you. Physicality. He's a guy that I think probably shouldn't be listed with these guys, but will get drafted, probably the 9th or 10th guy taken. Speed matters to a lot of these scouts, a lot of these GMs. You run 4.54, then what trait do you have? Well, he's a physical guy, great hands, runs good routes. He does do that. He's one of Jackson Dart's favorite guys. Jackson had 3 pretty good receivers there, but Tre was his number 1 guy probably, and for good reason. He's good after the catch, physical guy, where he's supposed to be all the time, and good solid player. Nothing that you're going to say, oh my God, we got Tre Harris. Hey, celebrate, high five. But hey, you'll be glad you got him on your team because he'll block, he'll do all the dirty work, he can run routes, and a good college wide receiver. Yeah. It should translate to a pretty solid NFL career.
Jawan Jennings?
I don't know if he's that physical.
Okay.
Jawan's a poor daddy.
Awesome.
Jawan Jennings is a baller.
Awesome.
I think Tre Harris is good, but I do think there's like a little bit of a tier here. I think you have the Matthew Golden, the Luther Burden, the McMillan, the Egbuka, and I think Tre Harris falls just right below that. Is he a good receiver? Yes. Is he productive? Yes. Does he make big plays? Yes. Is he dependable? Of course. Like when Jackson Dart needed a play, that's where he was going. So I know his game's going to translate. I like his size. I like his catch radius. He's you put it in a lot of different places. You can be off a little bit. He's going to come down with it.
He's like me as a golfer, Justin. He's like me as a golfer. He's pretty good at everything, but not great at anything. He's not real fast. He's not real physical. He's not great after the catch, but he does everything pretty good. He'll shoot 78. 78's a good score. A lot of people would kill to get 78.
I'm just letting you know he might be fluffing his own golf game up right now. Don't be disrespectful to Tre Harris. All right, so we're in that tier 2. Isaiah Bond is the next name on the list. He's a guy that at Texas, you probably turn on the film and see Isaiah Bond, and then you see Matthew Golden. You mentioned that. What do we like about Isaiah?
Yeah, I like Isaiah a lot. I mean, twitchy. That's what jumps off the tape to me. The head bob, the twitchy, the in and out of cuts, the breaks. He's probably faster than what he actually ran at the combine. Battled some injuries. I think had he been healthy, I think that would have been very helpful for Texas when they got in the playoffs.
What was his injury, by the way? How long did he miss?
I don't know exactly what his injury was. He missed 4 or 5 games. I pulled
up like 5 or 6 games, and he had 1 catch for 0 yards a couple times. Was he hurt a lot?
He was hurt a lot, yeah.
All right. He was a high school state sprint champ. I wonder why he ran a 4.4 instead of 4.1.
I don't like guys telling me what they're about to run, and they run complete.
I think for Isaiah Bond to be successful, he's going to have to go to a team like Kansas City. Xavier Worthy's not a great route runner, all that stuff, but they use him in unique ways: reverses, rounds, jet sweeps, little quick screens. Let him get the ball in space because he's pretty good after the catch. He's got really quick acceleration. Bang! Not a great route runner. The deep balls, he kind of plays small. He can't find them. I'm not really impressed with his receiver skills, but his ball after catch skill is very impressive. So if you're going to get him, you got to have a package of plays for him to get him the ball in space. like I said, somebody's going to take him. He ran 4.4, but as far as a polished route runner, he's more of a move around type guy, giving the ball in space, bubble screens, release screens.
These second tier of receivers that we're talking about Tre Harris, Isaiah Bond, and do they get into the first round? That tier 2 receiver?
Like I mentioned before about the tackles, when one goes, two goes, oh, Golden's gone, oh, crap. Travis Hunter's gone, oh, we need a wideout. And who's the next one on the board? Is it going to be Luther? Okay, Luther's gone. And then we got to take who's next? So a lot of them go rapid fire. There's been a lot of marginal receivers get taken in the first round because I think the most important thing, which I have not done yet, is the next tier, right? There's top 10, and you got who's the next 10? Who's the next 10 after that? Do you feel like you can get a good receiver in the 5th or 6th round? Is it a deep draft for wide receivers? If it is, these guys could fall a little bit. If it's not, then these guys could get picked up. Supply and demand is simple, right?
He only ran a 4.4 at the combine, but he hit 24.2 miles per hour.
Jeez.
So he gets there quick. That's his deal. Is like his ability to get to full speed quicker than everybody else. So when he's playing in the slot, when he's playing on a jet sweep, when you throw him a bubble route, like
so he's going to Miami is what you're saying. He's probably a Miami guy.
There's ability for him to find a home, to be a possession guy, play in the slot, move him around, stack formations, option routes, get him a stick route that turns into
very
50.
explosive,
very explosive, and I think he is pretty polished from a route running perspective, like. You'd be concerned if you're a DB knowing that he's got speed like speed kills at the NFL level, right? The threat will get you a lot of hitches. It'll get you a lot of slants. I think Isaiah Bond brings that to the table.
Is there any other receivers that you guys want to talk about on here?
Well, you mentioned the kid from Stanford.
Say his name for us.
I call him the kid from Stanford. I'm not very good at names.
Would you put the tape on their helmets too and just number them?
I played, yeah.
Come here, 17.
Yeah, that's very important. Tape on the helmet's critical in training camp. It is.
Especially when you go through 90.
Shipley, get over here.
You're our starting center.
That happened to me like week 12 against the Seattle Seahawks one year. Remember that? We had guys coming in the locker room starting on Sunday.
So many.
No idea. Okay, here's a snap count. Blue 85, set hut. Damnedest thing ever.
I know.
Anyway, this kid from Stanford, he's going to be talked about because he's 6'2". He ran 4.4 at the combine. Some pretty good production at Stanford. He's got 120 catches in 2 years. He's a big kid. Good fade runner. He's probably one of the better fade route red zone runners in the draft. He's got high points that he's pretty good. To me, he's a very unpolished wide receiver. He doesn't have the natural, just the instinctual awareness to come back to the ball. Like you see him run a curl route, he's waiting for the ball and a DB just knocks it away. I'm like, oh my God, come back to the ball. God, drives me crazy. His yak is very average, but he does have a special ability to get the ball, track the ball in the red zone situations. And they weren't very good throwing the ball at Stanford either, but he struggles with some of the basic things that a receiver has to do right now. I think that'll come with coaching. Good coaching will help him out. And a good passing game coach, a good receiver coach will help him out. He's got some talent. But I'd be in the probably mode of, let's let somebody else take this guy, see how he does. I'd rather go somewhere else.
Let me ask you a question. So when you're grading guys, when you're grading receivers, you obviously know who your top tiers are, right? And then, so now we start giving this guy a 2nd round grade, a 3rd round grade, a 4th round grade, right? But like you see a guy like Jalen McMillan down in Tampa this past year, who ends up having a pretty damn good rookie season, right?
I was high on him coming out of the draft last year.
So he ends up going to the
3rd round. Yeah.
Right. So like, is there people that when you're sitting here, like I'm just saying, we go down this other wide receivers to talk about, right? Like you see them, you're like, oh man, if we get him in the 3rd, that is crazy
100%.
value, right? Like, is that how that goes?
Yeah, 100%. Because you have so many other positions that you have to look at.
I mean, Terry McLaurin, third round.
Yeah. So what makes them go in the 3rd? And when you get him in the 3rd, do you know I just got a steal?
You don't know for sure. You're hoping. Yeah, we felt really good about Terry though. Yeah, Terry's Senior Bowl was absolutely unbelievable. He was the best player at the Senior Bowl, in my opinion, out of everybody. Yeah, explosive. Yeah. So sometimes, that's the way it is, and I think everybody pretty much. A lot of these draft boards are pretty accurate. That McShay and these guys do. They're pretty accurate for the most part. There's always going to be somebody that rises or somebody drops, but for the most part, the clumping is pretty good. 1st, 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round, middle round pick. And some people will have these middle round picks and they're really excited about it. And that's where you make your hay in the draft. right?
Yeah.
If you can get a 4th, 5th, 6th rounder that can really help your football team and become a hell of a player, that's what you're looking for. That's why I mentioned supply and demand. Sounds simple, but why would you take a receiver in the 2nd round when you might find a really good corner that can help you? And you can take, if there's a clump of receivers in the 4th or 5th round that you like, hey, I got 6 or 7 guys that are projected in the 5th round. One of these guys are going to be there. I feel pretty damn good about it. You know what I mean? Like, if I got to take this kid from Stanford in the 2nd rounder, I'm going to lose him. I'm going to wait and take a guy that I kind of like better in the 5th. And that's the way the draft works. So you just hope you get those guys in the 5th as, you're kind of hold on, you're, what. But a lot of them will be there. A lot of good ones are in the 5th, 6th, especially wideout. That's usually the deepest position in the draft, right? Wide receiver.
This year, it would say running backs, right? When you say what's the deepest position, that's why I'm not in the NFL right now. It's deep, man. There's these young guys.
Running backs pretty deep.
That's what I was saying. I think running backs
You can get really good centers in the 7th round.
Yeah.
That's when I went.
Breaking down all these receivers here on Clean Pocket. You can't win without the receivers, and we did a great job of breaking those guys down today. Tune into the draft. You're going to see where these guys end up. The receivers can't win without them.
Spice up your sports viewing experience with the Underdog app. Underdog is the best place to play. Pick 'em on all of your favorite sports. Just choose higher or lower on your favorite players' stats, and you can join the millions of fans who have won billions of dollars on Underdog. What are you waiting for? Sign up now using promo code POCKET. That's POCKET, and you can get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today.